Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, September 27, 2023, at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a special meditation today. As we all know, the negative in our eyes forces always are trying to create illusions so that the vast majority of the civilization focuses on those illusions and puts their energy towards those illusions, which is very powerful because then that will create the illusions into a reality. The more focus, the more attention spent, the more it is made possible to come into fruition. This has been a global-wide understanding with some. This is how the civilization has been fooled or misdirected, if you will. And without revenge today, or getting even, or any of that, in a heart-minded way, to emit our light energy upon the planet. And visualizing through the heart-mind exactly what it is you want to experience. Now, understanding that the ego mind always seems to be in the front and center with most of us. But this time, we want to focus on the heart-mind and our breathing, our breath, just listening to the breathing. This it's not supposed to be a hard effort. It is supposed to be a loving, directed energy from us, the gods in these bodies, on the planet, and the entire civilization, and all life concerning this planet. On it, in it, above it, and below it. So if you will, take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hopefully you're in a comfortable position. And I want everybody to visualize, see all of a sudden shifting in the atmosphere. Kind of like when you would see you're driving on a road and it's a real hot day. And you look way down and you see the heat coming from the road and shimmering. And we've all seen that once or twice in this particular lifetime. But this time I wanted you to see a golden, pink, hued, white light. So it's shimmering, and you can see it, and you can see through it, so it's opaque. This is the energy of the planets, the God that the planet is, and all of us. Now, we can direct it any way we choose. Through the heart-mind, there's nothing for us to prove, to be right about at all. This is a knowing that eventually this entire civilization will have, that while we're in these bodies, why not use the God power that we are to transition or transcend things? And it's not supposed to be meant as a really trying hard. It is supposed to be effortless. See, a lot of the times on this planet, we are conditioned, of course, I think everybody on this call knows that, and anybody that listens to this meditation will know that we've been bottled as a civilization. We've been kept in a bottle. And now we are beginning to find ways out of the bottle and start seeing things in a much different view. Now, we know that we can look at all the outside things, right, which do affect us inside if we're mostly operating from the ego mind. The emotionalities, the suffering, the pain, the sorrow, the worry, the stress, the fear. And that is induced by our ego mind. It is not ours, so to speak. It is created by two illusions, the ego and the mind. And they create these illusions, these thought patterns that we are bombarded with every single day, 60,000 plus a day. And none of them are ours. But we identify with them, all of us do in certain cases, that they're very tricky. You would say, well, no, that's my thought. That's not an ego-mind thought. But you know when it comes in, it's always an ego-mind thought. Only when it goes out is it your thought. We create the thought and we send it out. Okay? Thoughts that have already been created throughout the ages. This is, many people who are no longer in physical form on this planet had many thoughts. We all do, every split second. And these are the thoughts that bombard us all day long into the night, and as soon as we wake up in the morning, and probably through most of the time we're sleeping. This time in this meditation, this guided meditation, we're going to send a thought out from our heart mind, the God that we are in the body, the pure consciousness, however you want to name it or label it, to the universe, this universe. And we're going to ask specifically one thing that we want. One thing. Not 15 or 20, but one thing that affects everything. And that is to lift the stresses from the planet, the people, the worries and the fears, and to turn into the God within, and then breathe out our energy, our God-light energy, which is pure love, and saturate. And we start from the upper atmosphere of the planet, let's say 100 miles up. And then we fall down. In other words, the outer rim of the planetary stratosphere, the atmosphere that contains everything within on the planet. Not the space where there's no oxygen at all, but the very thin fabric that surrounds this planet. And to bring it down from there over everything. So you're seeing that shimmer that I mentioned earlier when you're driving down the road and it's a very hot day and the pavement's heated and you see the evaporation, the heat shimmering kind of on the road. This is the kind of depiction of the golden white pink light. Why is it these colors? These colors reflect, absorb, and strengthen. As you all know, pink, like rose quartz crystal, emanates an eternal love energy. And this has been recorded in the frequencies. So you have different colors, like the golden shimmering color of infinity, and the white light of the pure, unadulterated love. You combine all those, it makes for a very high frequency, very high. The frequency is so high it cannot be measured. And all of us, at a super relaxed state, going within with the God that we are, and listening to our breath. That's pretty much it. It's not complicated. It's not about being right or wrong. It's not about getting it right. It's about doing it in your own way. It doesn't have to be symmetrical or identical to any other one of us, because we're all connected anyway. So you have variances coming out, being literally moved outside of us, expanding out like an energy beacon, where it pulsates out 360 degrees. Now imagine all of us with this energy that's just pulsating out, and we visually watch it as it saturates everything, all life. Nothing can avoid it. Nothing. Even the AI goop on the planet, nothing can avoid it. Now the interesting thing about this is that how can it be sustained? It's by us keeping our frequency at a particular level, and every now and then visualizing this vision, if you will, this scene all over the planet. And when you look around, you'll see the variance in colors everywhere. Not like, painted leaves on trees or anything, but you'll notice it in the atmosphere. You'll feel it saturating you everywhere. So it's not short term. This is a introduction of the pure love light energy in an intensified way. What does that do? Now this is for deep eternal love to all life, even the baddies, okay? So none of it can be through the ego mind a vengeful, judgmental, getting even, anger, any of that, because those are low frequencies. So it would just make it null and void. Now, for some, that may be a little bit because you're in the ego mind, so the ego mind does not care to have that happen. But it's supposed to learn from us. So when you see through the heart mind and not the ego mind, it's a whole different ballgame. And when you're in the heart mind, you're not being tricked by the ego to make you convinced that you're in the heart mind when you're not. You'll know because you will have no wants and no needs. This is being given freely. This is the planet that we're currently housed on. Why wouldn't we give it freely to all life? Because it's all part of us too. Now, the consciousness of different animals is different than ours because the gods are housed in a different physical form that isn't human. So its communication ability is different than ours. And we're part of everything and nothing. So this is basically a doing to shift the magnetic, electromagnetic, and the force of the universe, which we contain, in a loving, deep, eternal way. It's effortless. So it shouldn't be tasking to any of us or difficult for any of us. It is just like our breath. The body's going to breathe. We take it in and we push it out. So a lot of us would have a tendency to try too hard. Trying is already a defeat. So we do it. And remember, there's no judgment here. Did we do it right? Of course we do it right. We always do it. Most of the time we just don't know it. And understand that when we're non-attached to the mind and feeling connected to our soul, our core identity remains centered within the infinite source instead of our ego. This is important, that in this quiet time of this meditation, that we understand that. When we're not attached to the mind and are feeling connected to our soul, our core identity remains centered with the infinite source instead of our ego. We realize that we are the source of love, peace, and empowerment. We always will be. It isn't outside of us. It is not found outside of us, yet from within, all of us. And from this enlightened space, our ego takes a step down and simply feels grateful for life just as it is. Then this universe seems to hand over every wish, want, and desire we have. It does this for mere joy of feeling our hearts soften more and see the smile on our faces become bigger. So we're going to let go of attachment of everything in this meditation. Because we know that behind every fear, anxiety, and pain, an attachment is hiding. Even some of us attaching to the folly that we're witnessing on the planet. Now, if any of us are unsure where it is, or what exactly we are attached to in this life, just check your body. A feeling of tension, clenching, or anxiety always appears. Talk with that part of your body. Listen to it closely for a few minutes, and eventually you will notice a message inside the tense light, tense, tight, or contracted sensation. The more we understand the reason for these attachments, the easier it is to step back from them and not buy into their story. This is a healing process for all of us. When we are truly free, it means we'll have tons of extra time, love, energy to consciously manifest the life our heart really desires. And we identify where any attachment is located in the body. Breathe into the tight sensation, feel the pain, listen to its story, let go of its story, relax into the source beyond it all. Repeat until the tension, story are gone. It helps to remember that happiness does not depend on anything in the outer world. Yet our level of surrender to our hearts connected to the source within. The more often we practice this surrender, the less chance we will ever get attached to anything again. So in the silence of the meditation is to let go of it. Let it go. How do you do that? You step away from the mind and the ego through your breath, period. You're in the now. You don't engage with any ego mind thought that may try to come in. If it does, move yourself back into the breath. This is the most powerful intent that we could ever send out across the planet. Nothing is any more powerful. Nothing. By far. And knowing that you can sustain that love light energy because you are that energy. You're emanating it all the time. And to visualize and understand that from the heart-mind perspective and watch everything become saturated in pure, deep, eternal love. Everything. All of us in these bodies and everything around us, above us and below us, everywhere. You watch it because as you're in the now and you're a spectator and you're watching these pulsating waves of pure, deep, eternal love, and as a visual, a shimmering golden, white-pink light, undulating, moving, waving out in all directions. This fills the atmosphere, and understand that this is not going to go out into the dark space. It will be contained in the upper atmosphere, and it literally encased this entire planet. Every molecule, every quantum particle, every cell, every molecule will be saturated in this pure love light energy. And our intent is from the gods that we are within these bodies. And the key is what we want for this civilization and this planet. That's it. The life that we want for everyone, all life on this planet, to embrace. And we all know that every moment is an opportunity to release these hidden attachments which stop us from manifesting our dreams. Yet sometimes they're tricky to find. Now, obviously, most of us are accustomed to living with stress and tension each day, some level of it. And our mind is too loud to hear what its message is for us. So you can do a very simple thing. Simply look inside yourself and ask, who is attached? Where do I feel I am lacking in my life that is causing me to be overly hooked into this particular thought, belief, assumption, or outcome? What is that missing part of me that desperately needs X, Y, Z to manifest in order for me to be happy? It is vital to remember that it is always our mind that is attached. and not you. You are not your mind. You are the soul, who is eternal, infinite, unbounded, and cannot be attached to anything. Now, the more clear we become about what we are attached to in life and why, the more enlightened we become. When we can identify the lacking feelings we are holding onto, we stop blaming the world for how we feel and reclaim our power again. Seeing what actually is creating our need for attachment is the key to unleashing our freedom. The limiting feelings we regurgitate about ourselves are the secret gateways to forming new paradigms of being and seeing reality. We have the power within ourselves to release our blocks right now and thus attract any desired outcome in this life that we choose. We no longer need to engage in states of unnecessary suffering ever, ever, ever again. You are given the gifts of the gods. You create your reality according to your beliefs. Yours is the creative energy that makes your world. There are no limitations to the self except for those you believe in. So, remember, focus, let go. Just focus on your breath and let go. Let all the stuff go. You will step away from the mind and the ego, and you'll move into the now. Then, and only then, do you ask the universe to manifest a new world, a new existence in the higher vibrational frequencies of deep, pure, eternal love, a God-planet paradise. You're not thinking, you're not using the mind, you're not thinking about the baddies, you're not thinking about any of that, it's not there. All you're doing is you are flooding out 360 degrees the God that you are. All of us. And it will affect every form of life on and above and below this planet. I will join in the meditation and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. The greatest spiritual energy in this entire universe is inside us, inside you, right here and now. There is nothing we can do to diminish, taint, or change this ever-present spiritual consciousness that is flowing through us. For today, imagine you have the volume control on the knowingness that you are this eternal spiritual energy. Turn up your knowingness as high as it will go. What does that feel like to know without any doubt that you are the most powerful, indestructible, eternal, infinite energy in this entire universe? Practice knowing this divine presence is you all day today. Initiate and integrate this knowingness while you work, eat, drive, play, and engage in conversation with others. No doubt in this meditation. Cannot have any doubt, any second thoughts. It will negate or block it. Flow with the knowingness. We will return here tonight around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. More in-depth understanding of how to turn things to the light energy. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, eternal gratitude at all times. We return here Thursday, September 28, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.